All right. Okay, so we're going to start lying on our backs today. So come and lie supine, and you're going to bend your knees out to the side. Place the bottoms of your feet together to touch. And if you need to give yourself any kind of support under your thighs, like a pillow, you're welcome to do that. And then just move your hips around so that your lower back feels comfortable. Feel free to take yourself into a little bit of a tilt if you need to as well. And then place your hands underneath your head. Lift your head up. Give yourself a little bit of a stretch through the back of your neck, and then place your head down. So you're keeping that little bit of a lengthened feeling. Place your hands along the sides of your ribs. Let your elbows rest. And then you can either just soften your gaze, or if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes completely. And we're just going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth as we lie here for a few moments. So just connecting into your breathing. And just start to slow your breathing down. And notice the movement of your ribs underneath your hands with each breath. And then keep breathing. And notice the movement of your ribs on the mat. And as you breathe, start to feel the gentle movement of your abdominals, of your belly. So perhaps you'll notice as you breathe in that there's a gentle rise of the belly. You don't have to force it, it just happens naturally. And then on the exhale, as you close your lips, you might notice that there's a gentle flattening of the belly as you exhale. And then once again, bring your awareness to the back of your body. And maybe you can notice that with each inhale, as your ribs expand towards the mat, that there's almost a little bit of a pull into the lower back, and then on the exhale, it gives you an opportunity to soften and release. And that's because of the connection of the diaphragm into the lumbar spine. So it's almost like a wave that travels down your spine. And then still paying attention to the back of your body, maybe you can notice that there's also a little bit of a ripple effect up the back of the neck. So maybe you notice your head and your neck moving gently with your breath. And we're going to take just one more full breath in and out. And then blink your eyes open, bring yourself back into your space. Take your hands, slide them underneath your thighs, and help yourself to bring your knees and your feet all the way up together. Now keep the knees together, keep the feet together, and place your hands onto your pelvis. And now start tilting your pelvis, just a very small movement. Tilting your pelvis posterior and then anterior. And connect your movement movement to your breath. Notice how your lumbar spine, your lower back, has an opportunity to flatten into the ground. That's called an imprint. And then notice again how that hollow reappears. So this is really soothing for the lower back here, just to create this little bit of movement. And we're going to do just one more time. A little bit of a tilting action. And release. Now just let your pelvis and your lower back settle where it feels best for you. Bring both your hands straight up, palms are facing each other. And now open your arms wide, breathe in. Don't let your hands rest, hover them. And exhale to bring your arms all the way up and connect the tips of the fingers to their partners. And again, breathe in, expand across your chest. Exhale, lifting your arms up. Feel how your ribs gently close as you exhale. 2 more times, breathing in. Breathing out. Feel the gentle squeeze of your legs together, inner thighs are awake. One more time, breathing in to open. This time, stay there and exhale to press the backs of the hands down to the ground. Make any adjustments to your arm position if you need. Glue the legs together and start rolling both your knees over to the left. Letting the right foot and the right hip lift up. And then exhale, narrow the waist and draw yourself back to the center so you feel the connections to those obliques. Now take your knees to the right. Your left foot, your left hip will lift up. Chest and shoulders are open. And exhale. Abdominal muscles connect. And again, taking your knees to the left. If you want to, you can look over your right shoulder. Exhale. Abdominals work. Draw you back to center. One more time. Rolling your knees to the right. You can look to the left. And then exhale. Draw back to the center and hold. Bringing both hands all the way up. Stop this time with your hands shoulder distance apart. And now, let's scissor the arms. Scissor. Energy through the fingertips. And now make sure that you're not resting your arms on the floor here either. If you can control the movement so that you hover just off the ground, you're going to keep that little bit of tension on the muscles around the shoulder joints. So you're creating strength with flexibility, mobility of the shoulder. 2 more. 1 more. Bring both hands just up to the ceiling. Pause. Interlock your fingers. Hands go underneath your head for support. And then just bring the elbows off the ground so you are creating a hammock to support your head. Squeeze the knees together. Nod your chin. Exhale. Slide your ribs towards your pelvis. It is a flattening sensation of the belly, and then releasing the ribs back down with control. Nod your chin. Exhale. No pulling on the head. And then we release. Rib cage back. Make sure your elbows are floating. 3 more. Breathing out. Squeeze the knees, flatten the abdominals, and releasing down. 2 more times, nod the chin. Exhale. Pause for a moment. And releasing back. One more time, everyone. Nod your chin. Exhale. And now I want you to stay here. You're going to tilt your pubic bone towards your nose. And then let your pubic bone go back to neutral. Stay lifted through the upper body. Exhale. Tilt your pelvis, and it's like you're zipping up your jeans. And then release your pelvis back to neutral. 3 more. Breathe out. Elbows are floating. And release. Can you feel the lower abs switching on? 2 more. And release. 1 more time, guys. Exhale. And release. Hold it. Lift a little higher. Open your elbows. Flatten a little bit more. And then releasing all the way down. Just press the elbows back for a moment. Let your ribs lift up, so you're just getting a stretch across the shoulders, the abs, and then release. Bring your hands all the way down, so you can have palms down and palms up. Pivot your toes out, so you're making a V position with the feet. Your heels are still touching. Let your knees open into a diamond shape. We're going to pelvic curl from here. Take a breath. Exhale, tilting hips. Rolling up into your bridge position. Stay here for a moment. Gluteals working, lower abs working, external rotation at the hip. And then we'll go down through spine, imprint, and release. Make any adjustments you need to your position that work for you. Exhale, tilting hips. Rolling up into your bridge position. Now stay here. Bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Stay there. And roll your spine down onto the floor again. Getting the imprint into the lower back. Release your pelvis to neutral and bring your hands down again. Let's go up again into a pelvic curl. Finding that nice gluteal connection. Now bring your hands up and see if you can bring them overhead. Just hover them off the ground. And now roll down through your spine. So you can feel that there's a little bit of extra tensioning onto those abdominals. And then bring your arms all the way down. Last time, tilting hips. Rolling up. Bringing your hands all the way overhead. Don't let them rest. Keep them there. And you get to ripple down through your spine. And release. Now keep your arms there. Bring your knees and your feet together. Stretch your right leg out long. Stretch your left leg out long. You can have your legs together or slightly apart. Keep the palms up and let's get ready to roll up into sitting. Lift your arms. Lift your head. Breathe to roll forward. So the palms are facing down today, but you're still going to stop with your nose just above your pubic bone here, and you can have your profile above your shoulders. Take a breath. Exhale. Roll back down. Now send your feet away from you, and then reaching the arms back. And we go again. Inhale, lift arms, lift head. Exhale. Long stretch. Bite the mat with your bum. Take a breath in. exhale, now as you take your body down, keep reaching through fingertips, reaching through toes, and reaching arms overhead. We're going to do 2 more. Keep focusing on your breath, guiding your movement. Pause. Take a breath in. Exhale. So it's a long exhale to carry your movement. Last one, here we go. Inhale, arms, head, breathe. Enjoy the stretch here just for a moment. And then roll up into a sitting position, lifting tall, and let your arms come down. Bend your knees and come forward on the mats. Hands to the front of your shins. Balance yourself for a moment. Now you can stay here, or we can roll like a ball. Keeping your chin in. Inhale back. And exhale forward, balance. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. So we want to make this as smooth as possible. So what really helps is to think about pulling your bladder away from your thighs. Because if you can connect those lower abdominals, it's going to help keep the curve and stability in the lumbar spine. One more time. And balance, hold it. And placing your feet down. Move back on your mat. So you're going to have your legs extended out. Pick up your right foot. Cross it over. You guys know this one. It's our seated spine twist prep. So put your hand behind your back, either fingertips or flat hand. Reach the left hand up, and then start guiding yourself into a twist from the lumbar spine, thoracic spine, and then eventually cervical spine so you can look over the shoulder. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths in and out. And be conscious of how your breath helps you release a little deeper into the twist. So you don't actually have to force it. And then slowly release. And now stay here just for a moment. You're going to move that top leg. So you're going to bring your foot a little bit closer towards your hip, and then you're going to overlap your knees, just one on top of the other like this. This is called a half shoelace. And then you can either stay here if this is enough of a stretch for you, or you can start just leaning forward a little bit. So depending on where you're tight, you might feel a stretch at the back of the left leg and hamstring, or you might feel a little bit of a stretch into that right hip. As much as possible, keep even weight onto your sit bones. Don't force it, just allow yourself to settle into it gently. And then we're just going to take one more breath in and out. And walking your hands all the way up. Help yourself unfold that knee and then stretching the legs out. Give them a little shake. And now step your left foot over. Left hand supports you. Right hand reaches. And into a little twist we come. Hooking the elbow. Lengthening up the spine. And looking over the shoulder. Keep breathing. And just one more time, inhale and exhale, just feel like you'll release that's taking place. And slowly come back. And now help yourself so that you can start to walk your foot, wiggle your toes a little bit up towards the hip. And then the knees are stacked one on top of each other. You can stay here, or you fine. You're not forcing it over. Just, if you were to close your eyes, just notice the pressure on your two bum bones. And on your next breath, start to walk yourself all the way upright. Help yourself come out of it, stretching your legs all the way out long and giving them a little bit of a shake. So we can stay here for the seated spine twist. Feel free to bend your knees. Feel free to sit up on a cushion if you need. Long spine. Frame yourself with your arms so that you're sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to turn on a little diagonal so you can see what it looks like. And on your breath, do a single twist towards the right. Don't let your knees or your feet move. Come back to the center, grow tall. Exhale. So you can feel that there's a little bit of a twist through the midsection and inhale center. Let's do an extra breath out. Inhale center and to the left. Inhale center to the right. Inhale to the left. Inhale, so it's a smooth pulse. No jarring, no bouncing. One more time. Inhale, center, and relax. Just bend your knees for a moment. Hug yourself into a little ball shape because your back muscles will probably work quite hard as you did that. And then unravel your spine to lift up nice and tall. Now lie on your left side. You can use a pillow. I'm just going to use my arm as a little bit of a prop. Both knees are bent a little bit in front of you. And I'll take your right hand and grab onto your foot or your ankle. If you need to put a loop over your foot, then go for it. Before you pull your leg backwards, let your kneecap find a happy place, and then tighten up the lower abs. So it's actually a feeling of tucking your pelvis forward underneath you. Now, if you need an extra stretch, you can start to pull your thigh backwards, provided that you don't let your lower back arch. You want to keep those lower abdominals engaged. Stay here for just a few more seconds. It's quite a strong stretch in the hip flexor and down the quadriceps. And then on your next breath, release and just allowing the legs to stack. Bring your knees up a little bit as if you're sitting in a chair. Right arm comes forward. Let's do one thoracic rotation. So bring your arm up. And then open up across the chest. You're going to feel free to allow the knees to slide back. Bringing yourself into that opening across your chest. Take a nice easy inhale. And breathe it out as you bring that arm all the way back and to the front. Now put your fingertips just in front of your belly button. Slide your legs all the way out straight. Chin up, shoulders down. Double check that you've got your pelvis and your shoulders stacked. Glue the legs together and start to lift both legs up. And then release them down. So keep going at your own pace. And I just want you to really notice which muscles for you are doing the work here. It doesn't have to be a big movement, by the way. So as you do this, ideally, we want the abdominals, the obliques doing the job. If you feel that your lower back is taking over, I've mentioned this, but a reminder that you could perhaps let that top hip roll back a little bit. And by doing that movement, it hopefully takes it out of your back and transfers the workload into the abdominals. Let's take 2 more. Energy through your crown, energy through your feet. And now lift both legs up. And I'm going to ask you to stay there. Now, if you want a challenge, how about you bring that arm up? If you're losing balance, put your hand down again. Your bottom leg goes down and up. Bottom leg down and up. Good. So now we're getting the inner thighs to work. The inner thigh on that left leg is going to be switching on. But can you feel how much you're going to work your core in order to keep your balance here with your hand lifted? 2 more. Feel free to put your hand down at any point. 1 more. Lift up. Now hold it there. Bring both legs down. And now you can either put your fingertips on the ground or bend your elbow and place your hand in your lower back. So you're getting a bit of a stretch of the top shoulder. And now, top leg goes up and down. And up and down. And what's so nice with having your hand in your lower back is you can feel if your pelvis or your lumbar spine is trying to move. Because we should be isolating this movement into that little side bum, the gluteus medius. So keep the stability. Lower obliques, the left oblique should be working. And we're going to do 2 more. I'm going to do just 1 more time. And release. Stretch the top arm all the way up. And then releasing it all the way down. Good. Now bend your knees. Push with that hand. And bring yourself into a side sitting position. So if you look at your left hand that's on the floor, the middle finger should be pointing away from you. Get the knees stacked, you can separate the feet, and then just take your right hand lightly underneath the ribs. Keep this elbow straight, and just let your shoulder glide up to your ear. Don't collapse, you want to control the movement. And then pressing away. Feel the connection here. And again, release, and press. 2 more times. Release and press. Last one, feel your scapula find its placement on the back of your ribs, and now stay there, good there. Let's do some tricep flips. So you bend and press. Keep the connections. Just the elbow, bending and straightening. If your neck is taking strain, remember guys, you can turn your head and look down and see if that helps you. 2 more. And press. 1 more time. And press. Hold it. Put your right hand to the ground. Bend your elbow and hold it there. Top arm comes to the side. Remember we did this, all right? So now you're going to exhale and just lift your hips off the ground. Stay for a second, and then releasing it down. If that feels like a challenge for you, keep doing that. If not, straighten your legs. You still have your feet split, so your right foot is in the front. Connect. Take a breath in, squeeze your inner thighs. Exhale. Hold it there, connecting the lateral line of your body and releasing it down. Now guys, I know some of us have shoulder issues, so please don't force it if it doesn't feel okay. Exhale. Take a breath in and release. Good. Bend your knees up. Bring yourself up so you can hold on to that right ankle. Left arm, let's go into a lateral stretch. Taking one more breath in. And then exhale all the way up. You come. Good. Spin your feet all the way around. And you're going to lie on your side. Knees bent a little bit. Take your hand, grab it onto the foot of the ankle, and we're going into the hip flexor stretch on the other side. So get your kneecap happy. Do a little bit of a zipping up of the lower abs, and then perhaps you can pull your thigh a little bit backwards in space. Keep breathing. Opening up hip flexor, quadriceps. So this is really important to open up these lines before we do things like back extension, because if this is tight, it's going to kind of stop your back extension. And then release and bring your knees up a little bit as if you're sitting in a chair. Cradle the back of your neck. Left arm comes forward. We're going to do one thoracic rotation. Lifting your arm, look up, and open up across the chest. All the way back you go. Enjoy the stretch there. Taking a deep breath in. And then exhale. Lift your arm and bring your arm all the way back in front of you. Place your fingertips to the ground. Stretching both legs all the way out. Just take a moment to set yourself up. So the setup of the exercise is so important. So chin up, shoulders down. And then on your breath, you're going to lift both legs up and release. Find your own pace. But again, the important thing here is to notice on your own body what is working. And if your lower back is taking over, it's a little muscle in the back of the quadratus lumborum that likes to work, then maybe you just need to adjust the placement of your hip a little bit, rolling it back. Energy through the crown of your head. Let's take two more. One more time. Lift both legs up and stay there. So again, if you want to challenge yourself, bring that arm up. Now, the bottom leg comes down and up. So working the adductors, the inner thigh now on the right side. Notice if your neck is taking strain, maybe you need to give yourself a little pressure point release. Maybe you need to turn your head to look down. Keep that core connection to help you keep balance. Last two. Last one. Squeeze up and hold it. And then lower both legs all the way down. Bend your elbow, hand goes into your lower back, or you can put it on the floor again. And now, top leg. Side lying gluteals. As you lift your leg up, remember the connection to the underneath waist. So we're isolating gluteus medius. And if you're doing this correctly, in other words, your leg is in parallel, you actually shouldn't be able to lift your leg really high. There's going to be like a natural point where that bone at the top of the hip actually stops the movement. 3 more. Keep breathing. 2 more. And just one more time. Release. Keep your balance. Reach up And then bringing your hand all the way down. Good. Bend your knees, press yourself up, coming onto your right hand. So fingers are pointing away from you. Knees bent, taking your hand just underneath your ribs. And let's just do a little bit of scapular placement here. So releasing and then pressing away. And you'll feel pretty quickly as well if you need to adjust your hand position or your body positioning anywhere. So get it to work for you. And controlling the movement of the shoulder and the scapula. Press away. And now hold it here. Bend the elbows and into our little tricep dips. Keep gluing your scapula onto the back of your body. So this is great preparation for like push-ups where you're on all fours or in a plank position. One more. And hold it. And release. Come down onto your forearm. You can have your feet split, arm beside you. And on your next breath, just lift your hips up. So this is a really nice way to practice weight loading on the arm and shoulder and release down. So if that's a challenge, you stay. Otherwise, legs out. Take a breath. Exhale, squeeze your inner thighs. And up you go. Feel that lateral line of the body connecting. And release it down. One more time. Exhale. Hold it. And release it all the way down. And turn onto your sides. Oh, I like it. Come up. Let's do a little bit of a stretch. Oh, I just feel like my body needs that little opening after that connection. And release. And now let's lie on our stomachs. So we're going to do a little bit of a variation today. So have your legs slightly separated. And you still want to be able to engage the gluteals. Make sure that you're anchoring your pelvis. But normally we have the elbows down. Today, I want you to let the elbows lift up so your hands are pretty much underneath the shoulder joint. So hover the tip of your nose without going anywhere. Just create a little bit of space. So you lengthen the spine, and that's going to activate that deep back muscle. Start lifting your eye line, and then just come up into a little baby cobra. So you still feel that your heart is reaching forward, but now you can really get the feeling of squeezing the elbows together behind you, so it connects to the mid-back muscles a little bit deeper maybe. And then release your chest and allow yourself to come down. You still have the legs and gluteals active. And again, lifting eye line, bringing yourself up, and choose whichever breath pattern works for you. Feel that little squeeze at the back of your body, and releasing down slowly. We're going to do one more time like this. And lifting eye line, floating up. Remember that the abs are just gently connected to support your lumbar spine. And releasing all the way down. And now we're going to do a little bit of an add-on here. So keep the gluteals connected. Start lengthening your spine and just come up into a little baby cobra. Now hold it here. I want you to push into your hands and just lift those two little bottom ribs up. Can you feel how the work moves into the lower back, but not too high? And then let those two little bottom ribs come down again. So we're moving from a baby cobra towards a high cobra, but it's not a huge movement. And releasing it down. If it does not suit your back, then rather just stay in baby cobra. Lift and release, and now come all the way down, pushing into your hands, come onto your knees, and then bring the knees underneath you, sit back, and let's just come into a little bit of a resting position. So this is always so nice after we have done extension of the spine. So again, stretch into the lower back, relaxing into the neck and shoulders, and just taking 3 full breaths in and out here. And on your next breath, just try to separate your hands, spread your fingers out, and then draw yourself up onto all fours. So we're going to be going into our 4-point cross pattern. So make sure that your wrists feel comfortable as you stand up. Knees are slightly apart. And you're going to stretch your left leg backwards first. Level out the pelvis. And then walk the right fingertips forward. Stay there for a moment. And then on your breath, just lift the arm and leg. And release them down. And again, lift. Lower abs connected. And lower. One more time. Lift. And lower. And then bring the hand and the knee back in underneath you. Right leg stretches back. Walk the left fingertips forward. And on your breath, lift the arm and leg. Guys, it doesn't have to be a high lift. It has to be a precise lift. So in other words, you can lift the arm and the leg without collapsing or dropping into the lower back, the shoulders, or the pelvis. One more. And release. And then bring the hands and the knee back underneath you. Now, take your knees a little wider apart. So it's a wider base than normal. Do the same thing with your hands, bringing them slightly apart. We're going to do the same exercise, and I want you to feel the difference here. So, center yourself. Slide the left leg back. And immediately, can you feel that there's more challenge on the obliques muscles, maybe even on the supporting hand? Walk the right fingertips forward. And now, lift arm and leg. And release. And again. March your work around the abdominals and around these muscles here on the shoulders, serratus. And release. And bring the hands and the knees back in. Slide the right leg back. Walk the left fingertips forward. And again, we lift and lower. Notice your connections. 2 more. 1 more. And release. Bring the arm and the knees in, and now bring the knees a little bit closer together again. Reach the right arm out to the side, and let's come into our thread the needle. So choose your arm position that works for you. You can slide it out, you can do a little push onto the floor with the arm if you like, you can put your hand into your lower back if you like. Just relax into it. Few more gentle breaths in and out. And then slide your hand in. Up you come. Reach that arm out to the side. And bring the hand back in again. And now, left arm. Coming in to thread the needle. Settle into it. Keep breathing. Then slide your hand back in. Press up, reaching the arm up towards the side, and then bringing that hand underneath you. Now, tuck your toes under. We're not going to lift the knees yet. We're going to do a little stretch of the feet first. So from here, simply push backwards, and we'll feel that you start to load a little bit more around the feet and the knuckles of the toes. So find a stretch, and then releasing back. And we're going to do 2 more like that. So press back, getting that stretch under the arches of the feet, the knuckles of the toes, and release. And let's do 1 more time, stretching the feet, and release. Now relax your feet all the way back for a moment, and then stretch out the wrists. So start to turn the hands so that your fingers are facing backwards towards you. Turning them backwards towards you, and you can stay here if this is enough of a stretch on the wrist. It's carpal tunnel. Or maybe you want to add a little bit of a movement backwards and forwards. Just a few more seconds here. And release. Bring your shoulders forward so that as you bring your hands back, it's nice and easy around the joints. Spread your fingers out. Now tuck your toes under. We're going to do the hovering of the knees now. Pressing into hands and feet, just lift the knees up a little bit. Staying here just for a few breaths in and out. Finding the connections around the joints again. Making sure that you're happy with the placement of your hands and your feet. And then release the knees, release the feet, round your spine to a cat stretch. And then just sit your hips back, enjoy that release for a moment. And then forward you come. And lengthen your spine. Tuck your toes under again. We're going to do the hovering of the knees, but we're going to add on. Okay. So press into hands and feet, hover. And from here, just start shifting forwards and backwards. It doesn't have to be a big movement, but you'll definitely feel how the abdominals and your thigh muscles have to work. And then say to yourself, lower the knees, release your feet, round your spine, sit your hips back, getting that lovely stretch, and come forward, lengthen your spine. Now we're going to do 1 more, and we're going to go into a downward facing dog. So tuck your toes under, press onto the hands and the feet, move your hips up and back, stretch to downward facing dog, and then bend your knees and coming into a hover again. And again, press back, lift your hips up, stretch as much as you can manage. Bend your knees, down you come. 1 more time, here we go. Press up, lift up the hips, and bend the knees, return to down dog, and release, relax the feet. 1 more time, round your spine, sit back, getting that lovely stretch into the lower back. And now this time, come up halfway, press up onto the tips of the fingers, roll upright, reach up through your arms, all the way up you come, and let's just draw some big circles around with the arms. Inhale, and exhale. 2 more, inhale, and exhale, keeping your balance, keeping the abs and the round cheeks active, and release, and then from here, turn to sit on your bottom, knees bent, come a little bit forward on your mats, and we're going rolling down onto our spines. Exhale as you curl back. Reaching your arms over. Circle your arms around, lift your head up, and breathe. Roll up and into sitting. So if you need support under your back, feel free to do so. Wow, I'm suddenly very hard for that downward facing dog. So, here we go. Knees bent, arms out. Exhale, curl back. Reach. Circle. Lift your head. Breathe up. And lifting tall. Now guys, you can keep doing that or you can join me with a little challenge. So let's roll down as we have been. Draw a circle with your arms around. Lift your head and exhale to pick up one leg and lift up tall. So that knee is bent. Doesn't matter if it's high or low. You can decide. And then roll down. Place the foot when you're ready and then reach the arms back. Circle the arms. Exhale. And now see if you can pick up the other leg. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Exhale. Curl back. Placing the foot and reach overhead. Circle your arms and exhale. You can keep the feet down or you can lift the leg up. Exhale, curl. This is called the teaser prep. Big circle. Exhale. Lift up. And roll back. And this time, circle arms around and bring them all the way in. Just hug both knees in towards your chest for a moment. Do a little bit of a rocking action from side to side. Hooking your hands just behind your legs. Flexing the ankles. And on your breath out, just stretch your legs. Get into stretch. And bend the knees. And again, breathing out. Reaching up to the heels of the feet. And release. And now this time, as you stretch your legs, bring your head forward towards your knees. And release. One more time. Chin in. And release. Give your ankles and knees a little bit of a shake. And I just want you to place one foot down. Place the other foot down. Let your knees open. And placing your hands onto your ribs. Finding a little bit of length along the back of your neck. And then you can choose to either close your eyes completely or just allow your gaze to soften. And just as we started, let's bring our awareness to our breath. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Notice the natural response of your abdominals and your pelvic floor to your breath. So it's a natural response to the movement of your diaphragm. And notice the natural response of your lower back and your neck and to the movement of your rib cage underneath you. And taking just one more full, deep, luxurious breath in. Open your mouth and sigh out. Blink your eyes open. Slide your hands down underneath your thighs. Help yourself as you bring your knees all the way up. Just tilt your hips a little bit forwards and backwards. And then hug one knee towards your chest. Bring your other knee into join. Rock a little bit from side to side. And then slip your hands behind your knees. Bring yourself into a tight little ball shape. Start moving your thighs away from you. And start to pour your weight into your feet. Coming all the way up. Just momentarily let your head rest on your knees. Roll up into a sitting position, sitting nice and tall. And I'm just going to turn to face towards you. So you can keep your legs straight as they are. Bring your hands down beside you, palms up. Let's take one deep breath in. Reach all the way up. Touch the tips of your fingers. Open your arms and let's do some little flamenco hands. Releasing all the way through the front and the back arm lines. And relax. Nicely done, guys. I hope everybody feels good.